Check 1, 2, check 1, 2, testing sound. All right. I have not used StreamYard in a very long time. Let's see how we do here. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good morning. I am going to church in about 4 hours. I'm about to go on a mountain bike ride, but I got online this morning. I did a very terrible half-ass stream last night where I was mostly just gaming. And so I went to go check to see if anyone left any comments. Or BS Lewis, I'm looking at you. And I see that one of my online friends is in a bit of a kerfuffle with one of my, I'm going to say online heroes. I don't really know if that's the best way to put it. He came in a long time after me, but his content is usually extremely well done. So, we're going to be talking about how to be Christian. As you know, I'm kind of leading the charge. I will take full responsibility here on the anti apologetics movement. I've been doing this for about 2 years, maybe a little bit more. Um, my channel is very popular among atheists and scholars and very unpopular among apologists and Christians. I know that. You know that. No one's surprised by any of this. But it looks like How to Be Christian, and one of my friends is who's of the same opinion of apologetics as I am, is having a little bit of beef. So let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. There you go. Hello. We got someone in the chat already. Mind you, I don't know if this is going to be a popular video, if anyone's going to see this. How to Be Christian, Ferris. I hope you're watching. I want to talk to you directly. Me and you are usually 99% on the same page on almost everything. So if you're having a problem with one of my buddies, I kind of want to talk to you directly. I don't want to do this through comments or anything like that. I'd rather talk to you straight up. Um, I'm surprised, actually, when before we get into it, that you would go after my friend and not directly after me, as in I am the problem. I am uh, speaking with Dr. Kip Davis, with Dan McKellen. I'm speaking out against Cameron Bertuzzi very loudly. I'm speaking out against Jay Dyer, who I'm pretty sure you speak out against too. And I'm generally against grifting and sophist. And I don't pretend to represent the Catholic Church. I am a Catholic like you, but I also make a very clear disclaimer that this channel is not a Catholic channel, that I am a Christian. I'll speak about my faith, but this channel is about a million other things other than Christianity or apologetics. It's dedicated to anti apologetics. And then in the meantime, I do book reviews and debate reviews until something interesting pops up or pops off in the direction of apologetics or polemics. So let's get to this. Let's get started here. We're going to be going to Ordinary Catholic. I really like her channel. It's a growing channel. There's about 3 or 4, I'm going to call them budding young apologists that I really enjoy. 2 of them happen to be women. It's her channel, and there's another channel that I can't think of the name of right now. I'll look it up while we're watching this. But there's like 2 or 3 up and coming apologists who I think are doing really well. Number 1, they're not talking any hate. Number 2, they're not grifting for money, although everybody needs to make cash. Everybody needs to make a living. I have my channel's monetized, but I haven't made a dime. Like we don't get me wrong. But and I've donated to one of these people to help them make their rent because I think what they're doing is very important. But vows of chastity, vows of poverty are very real in the Catholic Church. I used to be a lay religious, and believe me, when I met my wife, who's an atheist, and she saw that I wasn't working a full-time job and I was praying all the time, she's like, well, "What are you doing? How are we supposed to be a couple if you don't have income?" So believe me, I get all of this. Okay, let's get into it. This is Ordinary Catholic, I recommend her channel. Please subscribe. She's still growing. She's still learning how to do the YouTube thing. So don't judge her too harshly. Uh, just listen to what she has to say. So let's start off here.
Massachusetts and Protestants, beware of Catholic revert convert channels. And I say this as a faithful practicing Catholic. These Catholics have not lived out their faith yet. They run to the Catholic Church. They talk about truth. I've listened to so many convert channels, and these convert channels never mention the word love.
Just to be clear, this is kind of, she's really criticizing what in Calvinism we'd call the cage stage. And it really is a byproduct of when you first get into the faith. You have this passion for a faith you don't understand yet, and you're kind of parroting what people have told you the faith is. There's this one channel that I want to critique that maybe we'll do it today as part of this, where all of her Catholic advice were just Protestantisms, and it had nothing to do with Catholicism. I know when I first started and I barely understood anything about the faith, I said a lot of stupid things. Hey, ordinary. I said a lot of stupid things that I wish I could take back, and I have a whole series planned back before I got my new job, because my new job takes a lot of time. I'm back in a corporate job, but uh, I had a series planned out where I'm just going to go back to my old content, comment on it, and delete the old content or hide the content, and have my commentary correcting my old views out for display, and just like have that be be my back catalog now. So anyway, let's continue.
Yes, there's truth. I'm not denying truth. But at the same time, you live out your faith with love. You care by serving others and loving others. And these channels will get tens of thousands of views. And they haven't done.
And she has a really strong point. When I started doing, and remember, my channel used to be a very different channel dedicated to martial arts. When I started engaging in apologetics, it was just me reading the Quran and reading the Bible on screen and just putting my own voices, 'cause I didn't think anyone was ever going to watch my channel. I had been suppressed during the Thegan Than, during the very first apocalypse. I got my videos suppressed. So I didn't think anyone was going to watch it. So I was just talking about the Quran and talking about the Bible, because I had questions. I just wanted to catalog my questions and my opinions and my thoughts, and people started watching. But I regret a lot of the stuff I said about Protestants, because my view of Protestantism was only informed by the Protestants around me. And so I had a very negative view. And then I would see things like, different Baptist pastors online. I'm like, well, look, they're saying it. So that must be what they believe. And, now, what is it? 8 years later, 13 years later, I've read Martin Luther. I've read different Protestants, luminaries. I've listened to Gavin Ortlund. Like, Protestantism does have arguments. They're not good. I don't think you should be a Protestant, but they do have them. So I don't think that I don't think she's wrong here. I think that when you're a brand new Catholic, you really shouldn't be explaining the faith to people, because you don't know your faith yet. I'm 45 years old. I barely understand a little bit of my faith. So yeah. Anyway, continuing.
Anything for their actual parish. They don't care about the parish community. They care about getting views. They're targeting you for views. They're not targeting you with love. They're not targeting you with care. They're targeting you with views, trying to debate you or argue with you. And the Protestants are a different faith tradition.
And I want to be clear here. Me and her disagree on this. I used to be a debate bro. I literally cut my teeth on YouTube, going into the old shit posts, going to the old, I forget what it's called now. Oh, not war games, blood sports. I would go into these blood sport rooms and I'd debate Catholicism. I'd be the one Catholic in there against like all the atheists, and then a Protestant would show up, and the Protestant would then side with the atheist, and we'd start fighting, and it would just be a mess, and it would be fun. I made some really good friends there. All of you know, those watching my channel who are going to watch this later, Danny, who's now famous for calling out Jordan Peterson. Me and him were buddies for a long time. Garmania, B.S. Lewis, Dr. Kip Davis, who I love, um, a bunch of guys who are really big on Clubhouse that I can't remember your names. I promise you, dudes, we were real friends. I did not mean to forget your names. I really did like you when we were talking every day. But Leophilius, all of these are kind of big names in the atheist sphere now. There's a few bigger names, but we're not going to get into that. I don't want to name drop that I used to interact with on almost a daily basis. So um, I do have a different view on this than her, but I don't think it should be your Catholic message. I don't think we're doing a new crusade. I don't think we're Redeem Zoomer out there proselytizing for the faith. It's one thing to defend the faith. It's one thing to have fun. Like if you like doing debate pro stuff, do it, but don't do it under the banner of Catholicism, because to do that, you need approval of your bishop, and you don't have it. Like just straight up, you don't have approval of your bishop to speak for the Catholic Church. So you shouldn't be doing that. Spread the faith by example of your life, and spread the faith by, if someone has a question, give them evidence for the Catholic viewpoint as you understand it, or direct them to the Vatican website, direct them to, hello. Yeah, that's my point. Captive Dust just said something very interesting. Anyway, so let's continue. I'm now ranting.
Your brothers and sisters in Christ, yes, you don't follow within the Catholic Church, okay. But to see people target you, to see people capitalize on the Catholic Church when they have no interest.
And this is kind of what turned me off of Catholic Answers, is that their drives went from, I don't know if they were ever once a year, but they went from being once a year to being every 4 or 5 months. They'd have these 1 week drives to make money, so that way they could do tours that would make money. I was like, what are we doing? So that's really what turned me off. It isn't that me and Jimmy Akin had a little spat over whether the NAB study Bible is a good study Bible, although that did happen. It isn't that he called me out during one of the Catholic Answers live episodes. Also, that didn't stop me. I still listen. I'm subscribed to Jimmy Akin. I love Jimmy Akin. He just doesn't agree with me. No, what turned me off was the constant fundraising. It does get gross when you're selling branded rosaries, when you're making icons into T-shirts. Like it's kind of gross, man. Jesus whipped up the marketplace for a reason. It isn't like he was just like, oh no, you can't sell anything at the church. The basilica that I go to literally has 3 shops. Has a shop in the church, just outside of the nave. Has a shop right outside the church, and then has a bookstore that sells goods. And I get it, fundraising is important, but every time I see it, I think of Jesus Christ, and I think of that scene in the marketplace where he's telling them to get out when he's throwing out the money changers. So yeah, man, like it's a serious problem, and her bringing it up is not being anti-Catholic or anti-Christian or any of that. She's just being anti-apologetics and anti-BS, and I'm all for that.
Of serving and loving others. They will put out an image of like the Eucharist, and it's like the truth, and they'll try to sell you. I've seen one guy who was like atheist, Calvinistic, Catholic, and he's trying to sell you membership to his private videos on St. Thomas Aquinas. He has no business to sell you like these membership fees, or to have a Discord about spiritual, like masculine spiritual warfare and these other things.
I mean, that's just because she's talking
as
about
somebody
Tyler
who's been
Marshall.
a lifelong
Is it Tyler
Catholic,
Marshall? I bet
a
it's
faithful
Tyler
Catholic
Marshall.
that participates in our parish, the level
I don't know if that guy knows
scummy
I exist, but if he does, he
snake
hates my
oil that
guts.
these people sell you, and they're so popular, and people are going to say, Renee, are you jealous? Are you jealous of those Protestant to Catholic converts? I mean, I'm just living out my faith here, serving and loving others, and to see I have to call it out, guys. I know I have to call it out, and
This
everyone's
is
gonna
water,
think
by the way. I'm
I'm the
about to go
jerk.
exercise. It's just a collector's cup.
But Protestants, I respect your faith tradition. According to Vatican II, we are supposed to respect other people's faith traditions and just live out our lives, loving and serving others. And if you want to come to the Catholic Church, that's great. but I'm not going to market or sell you or target you anyways.
So the selling of the faith, the marketing of the faith is simony, and that's a problem. Number two, sorry about that. Number two, uh, you're gonna have to deal with proselytizing versus evangelization. Evangelization, we are called to do as Catholics. It is our job to go out and spread the faith. We're not called to proselytize. And Pope Francis, I believe it's an encyclical, gave a ruling about what we're not allowed to do, what we're not supposed to be doing. And as an example of the negative, of the wrong thing to do, he cites uh, YouTube Catholics in America. Like he specifically talks about that. So yeah, it's not that we can't evangelize. It's not that we shouldn't be Catholics living our faith online, but we shouldn't be proselytizing and we shouldn't be doing polemics, especially if we don't have the skills. All right, let's go into the comments, and then we're going to the next video. Let's see. Okay, we have a question from Risto. Was Vatican II a radical posture change toward other groups, Protestants and others? That's a good question. So you have to look at it from the Catholic historical perspective. I don't mean like from the Catholic Church perspective. If you look at the documents when you're talking about the ecumenical councils and you work your way up to the Seventh Ecumenical Council, the only legitimate Christianity is Catholicism, but Catholicism doesn't mean the church in Rome. It means the whole patriarchate as one family, the five main churches. And as they start to splinter off from each other, they then start defining themselves as that one true church. And that becomes problematic when you get to, let's say, Martin Luther, maybe a little bit earlier, like the 1300s, but let's say the 1500s. It gets really problematic when you have a splinter group from a splinter group. So is the Catholic Church the one true church, or is the Orthodox Church the one true church? And then are the churches that split off from them part of that same church still, or have they committed arch heresy? Now, the answer up until Vatican II is that that's heresy. They're blasphemers. They're not in the church. But the whole point of excommunication is not to damn someone to hell. It's to bring them back into the faith. They're supposed to leave and say, hey, I want the Eucharist so bad that I'm going to suppress my emotions, my illogical thinking. I'm going to confess my sin and I'm going to go back to the church. But that didn't happen with Protestantism. So when Vatican II comes around, it makes a ruling, hey, these are not the people who threw off the shackles of the church. These are their descendants. We shouldn't be punishing people based on the sins of their parents, let alone their great-great-great-grandparents. So a properly baptized Protestant is a member of the Christian faith. They're a member of the Christian church, but they're not a member of the Catholic Church. And people get this wrong all the time. This goes the same when it comes to when you extend it out to Muslims and Jews and then Hindus. Like, I mean, you can go all the way out. Muslims, Christians, and Jews are all claiming to worship the same God. And God is not bound by the rules of the canon law. So God can save anybody he wants. But the ordinary way to be saved, the ordinary Catholic way to be saved, is to be a Catholic, be a member of the Catholic Church in good standing. And then God can save whoever he wants. That's why it's okay to hope for a type of universalism. But you can't claim that because we don't know who's in heaven and who's in hell. Even good Catholics are in hell if they didn't truly follow what God had judged. So it's God who judges, not the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is the mouthpiece. So we can declare who's in heaven. We can never declare who's in hell. That's how that works. So because of that, there are misunderstandings, specifically when it comes to Protestants about, well, does that mean that we're damned to hell? No, but we're also not saying that all Catholics are going to heaven. So yeah, a lot of Protestants are probably in hell. Like, sorry, you picked the wrong faith. Like, there's nothing we can do. But Jesus, God, is not bound by the rules of the Catholic Church. So if he wants to save every Methodist, they're all getting to heaven. If he wants to save every Mormon, they're all getting to heaven. that doesn't mean that the Mormon faith is the one true faith. Catholicism is the one true faith. And the question is, which Catholicism? The Orthodox, the Catholic, the Chalcedonian, the Ethiopian. And if you look at the documents, this I know I'm going a little bit all over the place, Risto, but I am trying to answer your question. If you look at the documents, it's the original one true church, which you can call the ancient church, before the patriarchate really grew into power, or you can say it's the 5 original churches of the patriarchate, because all the other original churches were wiped out either by Persia or by Islam. You're welcome, Risto. I know that probably wasn't the greatest answer of all time. I'm a little rusty. It's been about 2 months since I've done one of these. All right, let's check out her comments. Basically, the How to Be Christian comments. Here we go. Oops.
What the hell are you doing?
Go back. Hi there, Renee Aste of Lowell, Massachusetts.
All right, let's see. Here we go. How do I see the screen? Grr. I don't know how to adjust that. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to go over here. This is so complicated.
Hi.
Okay. All right. So, How to Be Christian. If it's Ferris, I don't know if it's not a sock account or a bot or a mirror account, but let's assume it's really him. Hey there, your videos keep being suggested to me. Why aren't my videos suggested to you, Ferris? We've talked to each other online. Okay, I'm hurt. That's fine. Your videos keep on being suggested to me, and they all seem to be the same thing. You talk poorly about other people's channels and claim to know their motives. Getting views, not acting in love, not doing things for their parish. Who are these mystery people you keep speaking of? Karen Bertuzzi, Dr. Tyler Marshall. Hey, it's Ferris. How you doing, homie? Dr. Tyler Marshall. Now you're in here and my brain just went blank. Sam Shamoon. That's the people that we're talking about. When I'm making my videos against grifters, that's who I'm talking about. When she's making her videos against grifters, that's who she's talking about. So, yeah. I haven't seen any Catholic channels that fit the description here. I just mentioned them. However, there are a lot of channels out there, so maybe I missed them. Please try to keep an intelligent, testable argument instead of repeating your vague complaints. God bless. Okay. Then, Ferris, if you want to say anything, feel free to mention it in chat. I'm ready to respond and all that good stuff. Also, Ordinary Catholic is here. She's just in the chat, so feel free. Just keep everything civil, people. We're friends here. We're Christians. We want to bring each other back. We do not want to be fighting with each other. Well, that's why I'm here. But I did give you, I gave you some names. Sham Shamoon, Trent Doherty, Cameron Bertuzzi, and Tyler Marshall. Also, Timothy Gordon is another one that does this. So, yeah. Word up. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Okay. And she responds with, I'm talking about third-party vendors like yourself making Catholic faith into televangelist side hustle. I don't have to make arguments to others because I live out Catholic faith and simply share it as it is. I don't turn it into an online brand or ask monetary support. Catholic dioceses have their own evangelization initiatives, as you see from my pinned comment. Then she writes back. Sorry. How to Be Christian writes back. I'm talking about third-party vendor. Wait, no, that's her. You wrote, I don't have to make arguments to others because I live out my Catholic faith. The response, you pat yourself on the back a lot. I noticed that in your videos. I don't turn it into an online brand. Response, neither do I. How to be Christian according to Vatican II in your videos. Please cite a portion of Vatican II that you're referring to. Please let people know what part of Vatican you are citing. What do you mean I don't have any support? I mean, I can go to their website right now. Give me a second. I think Tyler Marshall does the rosaries and the courses. Tyler? By the way, Ferris, don't misinterpret this video, buddy. I love your content. I think you're amazing. We've interacted a few times. I don't know if you remember any interaction because you have way too many followers. So, but I'm a fan of yours, buddy. So don't take offense. I'm just simply defending my friend and telling the truth. Okay. Tyler Marshall.
What is the difference between Catholicism?
Shh, Tyler, don't speak. Okay, so we have his new book being marketed. Let's see here. Bada bum. Bada beam boom boom. We have his pre-orders, his signed edition, his philosophy, his marketing. I don't know if he's still doing the rosaries. Then we can go to Gordon, if you'd like me to do that. Oh, and he's also doing the new St. Thomas Institute courses. There we go. It's right there. And then let's go hit Timothy Gordon. Gordon. I mean, you asked me to do it. This is boring stuff, but I can do it.
Welcome to Rules for Retrogrades. I'm your host, Timothy J. Gordon, and this is my YouTube channel.
The problem with apologetics is when it becomes a team game instead of a truth game. I agree 100%, Reese Joe. I agree 100%. So here we go. We have his courses, his donation page, his whatever else. All right. Later, Ordinary Catholic. It was a pleasure talking to you. Like I said earlier, if you want later on this week or maybe next week, we can do a little stream to talk to each other. And we can be more explicit about some of the complaints that you have against apologetics. I, on the other hand, have made my complaints very clear. I have videos dedicated to all of this. Please feel free to watch my videos. I'm going to go on a little bit longer. I'm going to go back to my original content and not doing proof text for Ordinary Catholic because I actually had a point to make myself. And but everyone who is watching for just this portion, I appreciate you all, and God bless. Please go to church today. All right, let's get back to it. How do I get back to it? All right. Boom, 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 boom.
What is
Hi there, Renee Aste of Lowell, Massachusetts, and Protestants, beware of Catholic revert convert channels. And I say this as a...
Yeah. So let's continue on with the videos. And then I shall go to my bike ride because I need to exercise. I had a diabetic episode yesterday and I was not doing good. I was out until like 7 p.m. feeling sick. I had to leave home. I had to leave work early for home. So that did not feel good. All right, we're going to go here and then we're going to go here.
Angelus side hustle. I don't make arguments and send no hate to this channel, but I will call out the online grifters. As Catholics, we belong in our parishes to love one another and to serve one another. That's what my YouTube channel is about. Do not buy.
I'm assuming, again, Ferris, you're not wrong. I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption here that she's referring to the same Vatican. Shh, I'm working. Hey, I know. Sorry. She. Hold on. I got a little friend. Okay. Go back down. You're okay. All right. I'm assuming she's talking about the same controversy that's going on all over the internet about, do Christians worship the same God as Muslims, which is just that we're supposed to respect the other faiths such as Judaism and Islam. All of her content that I've seen is her assuming to know what's in other people's hearts. She has no support of any of this. That's all I was that's what I was pointing out. Hence, I invited her to before I did this stream. I did invite her on for just so she could be more explicit about what she is. I'm going to say complaining about, but that's not the right word. But I just wanted a chance for her to be more explicit on those items because, like I said, I have direct complaints against Cameron and against Sam Shamoon and why do I keep forgetting his name? Trent Doherty. So, like, I mean, I don't disagree with her in general, and I would love for her to be more specific. Hence, I invited her on. When she declined the invitation, I went ahead and told her I was going to do this video anyway, commenting from my side of things, because this is an anti-apologetics channel. I want to be very clear on that. I don't want to mislead you, Ferris. I do anti-apologetics. All right. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you. I'm glad you even dared to look at this. Have a great day and God bless. I hope you go to church today and I hope everything goes well. Bye. Okay, so let's finish this.
Anybody, do not let anyone grift off of you. If you want to share the faith, but do not make it into an online hustle. And this how to be a Christian individual gets snarky in my comment sections.
And again, I would just suggest, ordinary, if you're watching this later, I know you already jumped out of the chat. He's just snarky. That's just like who he is. Like, I don't know if that's so much a apologetics flaw as it is a personality flaw. And it's one that I happen to like. I enjoy his snarkiness.
And I says, I'm talking about the third-party vendors like yourself who make it into a televangelist side hustle. I don't make arguments to others because I live out my Catholic faith. I don't turn it into an online brand or ask for monetary support. We have Catholic dioceses with evangelization initiatives. If you want to evangelize the Catholic faith, go through your diocese and they will have programs and you will work with your diocese to help evangelize other people. Do not.
And I recommend this very, very truly. So when I decided to start speaking about Catholicism, I check in every few months. I'm not going to say I check in every month. That would be a lie. But I check in every few months with my local parish. And I have, through my priest, asked if what I'm saying is okay with the bishop. Now, mind you, I'm not claiming Catholicism on my channel or anything like that. I just want to double check with things and check in and make sure that I'm not going too far off script. I make very clear that I'm not doing Catholicism on this channel, so I don't want to mislead people into a false form of Catholicism, but I do that. I do those warnings on this channel for that reason, and I check in with my parish priest and make sure that when I do speak about Catholicism, what I'm saying is in conformity with what my local bishop is teaching. That's important to do if you're a Catholic on the internet. And I would assume, judging by the crazy things some people say, that a lot of apologists are not doing that. And if you are an apologist online, you should be doing that. I'm not an apologist, and I'm still doing that because I want to maintain my good standing with the Catholic Church, and I don't want to speak heresy. And when I first started this channel, before I had completely converted in and I was just talking about religion, a lot of the stuff that I was saying for that first year was heretical or blasphemous. And I didn't know that. I had to confess all that. And hence I want to go back and redo those videos now that I'm more learned in my faith. Not that I'm learned in my faith, but that I'm more learned. I would love to go back and redo that content.
Make it into an online grift. So I wrote, he goes, I wrote, I do not turn it into an online brand or ask for monetary support. This is what he says. Neither do I. Oh, let's go to your channel. Let's go to your website, How to Be a Christian. Let's click on support. Gift information. I can give you $5, $10, $25, or other. I can give you a monthly gift or a one-time gift. But you're saying you don't have an online brand and that you don't ask for monetary support. This is so horrific. The audacity that you're a crybaby, cry. Send no hate. I am so sick of these grifters. You want to make online content about being a Catholic? That's great. Make it from a personal point of view and tell people to go to their local parishes. Do not. They're like so parasitic. Like they'll talk about like church authority, but they don't actually send you to church authority. They want you binging off of their content talking about church authority.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that portion of this complaint is a little bit misguided, or at least misdirected at Ferris. There are Catholics who do this. Like I said, there's a video I want to review later that does exactly this, but I don't see Ferris doing that too heavily. I do know that he needs finances to be able to do what he does. And I'm pretty sure he's monetized. If he's not monetized, he's making a mistake because his channel is very popular. I just don't see him grifting. Another reason why I wanted Ordinary Catholic to be on here. She was on here earlier. Unfortunately, we didn't get to that portion. Hopefully, she'll be a guest on my channel later this week or next week, and we can hash it out and we can talk about all of this, because she has a very good channel and she's, beating the drum to get rid of grifting out of apologetics, which I think is a very good cause.
You pat yourself on the back a lot. Well, certainly I will pat myself on the back, because I'm not going to give my money to third-party grifters. I went to 7 a.m. Mass today. My son altar served. It was a beautiful Mass, and I come home to somebody trying to sell.
Oops. No, go back. Sorry.
Angelus side hustle. I don't make arguments to others because I live out my Catholic faith. I don't turn it into an online brand or ask for monetary support. We have Catholic dioceses with evangelization initiatives. If you want to evangelize the Catholic faith, go through your diocese and they will have programs, and you will work with your diocese to help evangelize other people. Do not make it into an online grift. So I wrote, he goes, I don't make monetary support. This is so horrific. The audacity that you're a crybaby, cry. Send no hate. I am so sick of these grifters. You want to make online content about being a Catholic? That's great. Make it from a personal point of view and tell people to go to their local parishes. Do not. They're like so parasitic. Like they'll talk about like church authority, but they don't actually send you to church authority. They want you binging off of their content.
I do think that would be actually a good. Again, he's not really focusing on being from the Catholic point of view, but considering how popular How to Be Christian is, I think it would be good for him to, at the end of his videos, say, and go to church, go to Mass. I do think coming from him, that's much more powerful than coming from someone like me or someone like Ordinary Catholic. My audience is mostly atheists and Muslims. They're not going to listen to me about going to Mass, and her audience is still growing. So she doesn't have the platform yet to draw in as many people as she probably could in the future. So I think it would be good for Ferris to direct people to go to Mass. I really do. I do think that would be a good outro to his videos, to direct people to go to church. I think it'd be a good call.
Content talking about church authority. You pat yourself on the back a lot. Well, certainly I will pat myself on the back, because I'm not going to give my money to third-party grifters. I went to 7 a.m. Mass today. My son altar served. It was a beautiful Mass, and I come home to somebody trying to sell. Dude.
And, again, she's not wrong there either. I pray the Liturgy of the Hours. I pray in the morning, in the afternoon, and in evening. I don't always do the afternoon one. Oh. Really? Huh. I watch all your content, dude. I've never gotten that. I've never gotten that from your channel. There's not a single video you've done that I haven't watched. I'm sorry, audience. Talking to How to Be Christian. Um, there's not a single video of yours that I haven't watched. I even watched your back catalog before it disappeared. I was a fan of you back then, before you really popped off. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you, yeah, I've just never gotten that message. I don't know why I haven't. Like I said, I've watched all your stuff. Like I don't think there's a video of yours that I've missed. I'm gonna get back to the audience stuff. Sorry, I got distracted by your celebrity. You see. All right. So I pray the Liturgy of the Hours. I used to be a lay religious, and this is something that I do every day. I think that's much more important to do as an active Catholic than apologetics. I think that's a much more, and it's definitely more important than polemics. Praying your faith and living out your faith. I think if you're going to do something like that, like I recommend the Liturgy of the Hours, I would recommend reading the office readings and reading the Doctors of the Faith. It's the commentary right under or right after, depending on whether you're reading it online or in your divine office. When you flip it over, you'll have a reading, and then next to it, you're going to have the church fathers kind of commenting on either the passage you just read or a related passage or related theme. And then follow that advice throughout your day and be thinking about it as you're living. I think that's way more important than than apologetics. I think that's a more important step. And I think going to church and attending church. Now, she says she attends church daily. I don't do that. But I think that's a very helpful thing to do. I think doing the daily readings, which includes the daily readings in the Missal, is a perfect step to help conform your life to Catholicism. I do that every day, and I still mess up. I do it in the morning, and I'm going to say by 11:30 at night, I've already committed like 100 sins. Like I try every day, or at least one major sin. I try every day to conform myself to the Catholic faith, and every day I fail in some kind of way. So I think what she's saying here is amazingly good advice, even if it's being said through a annoyed tone. I think the advice is still good. I agree with you, Captive. I agree with you. That's why I'm friends more with that's why the atheists like me on their channel and Christians don't usually invite me on their channel. All right, let's go on to the next video. And then from there, we'll do the review of the other girl. And then we're going to hop out because I got to ride my bike before church time. And I do at least an hour ride. Let's go to the next one. I will admit she was a little bit harsher there than I would have preferred her to be, but that's okay. I've been harsh in my videos
Sunday
before.
morning from 7 a.m.
Not
mass.
throw any.
And there's somebody in my comment section wanting to argue with me, to debate me. And it's not Protestant. It is a Catholic apologetics or whatever you, with a monetized channel, with a support.
I might, but every time I do this, I lose viewers, but not there's a lot of viewers right now anyway. I might go get the catechism and pull out the section that I think she's referencing. Let me, I don't think I want to get into Vatican II because I read Vatican II way too long ago to find a section just off the top of my head. But I think I can get it from the catechism.
Page where you can give them a monthly donation to support them and their constant targeting of Protestants, debating, arguing with people. And this is the very end. This is like 8 minutes ago. And I'm like,
I truly thought, I know Ferris isn't watching, or if he is watching, he's watching in the background. I truly thought it was going to be a sock account or a mirror account, that it wouldn't be him going after ordinary Catholic. Just because, I don't know, just the two worlds to me just shouldn't have met. But yeah, it's a thing that happened. He was here in our chat, so apparently it's real. I'm very sorry about that. I would recommend both people go to confession, and both people forgive each other. That would be my advice.
dude, My ancestor was tortured for his faith. His companions were martyred. I went to Mass this morning, and I'm going to volunteer in service for my parish later this week. We are called to love and serve others. Take care. And I'm still waiting to you to support your claims. I'm like, okay, I'll support your claims. Because I actually just made a video about this. This is the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. This is my
Okay,
claim.
so she's going to exactly, I think, where I was going to go to anyway. So I don't have to go get my book. Yes, I know. I know. Hi. You okay? You're saying I'm almost done? I know I'm almost done. I agree with you. Yes, ma'am.
And it says, when it comes to non-Catholics, how we're supposed to like engage with people who are not Catholic. The church therefore urges her sons to enter with prudence and charity into discussion and collaboration with members of other religions. Let Christians, while witnessing to their own faith and way of life, acknowledge, preserve, and encourage the spiritual moral truths found among non-Christians. Also,
So this is a good spot for me to, because I'm gonna switch directions in like 2 seconds. I've been wanting to talk to her directly for a while now. I'm glad she came on my channel today because I really am a fan of her channel. I really do like what she's doing. I do think she needs to tighten up a few things to be more YouTube friendly, if you will, or viewer friendly if you don't want to put a brand in front of it. We need to start citing sources in all our videos. We need to direct the criticism only to the topic at hand and not go off on the side tangents. A little intro is fine, a little outro is fine, but keep the main topic head on. And I think her audience share will grow amazingly. When she starts hitting those things, How-Do Christian says, what she is reading here does not support the claim she made in her video. That's why I asked her for a citation. Got it. But I think her stuff can do a lot better. She just needs to stay straight on the topic, have citations. I know that in some of my videos who I do Bible quotes or catechism quotes or quotes from philosophers. People complain that that's either pedantic or that it's weak because I have to use a source to prove what I'm saying. Ignore those people. They're trolls. Better video quality is going to include good citation. If you don't want to do it in the video, do what I used to do with my content about 2 years ago, where you put all the citations in your commentary. So just in like a bibliography, put all the citations underneath your video. So that way they can click on the links or at least go find the book and the page number. If you watch my Dan McKellen book reviews, or if you watch my review on Francesca Scovopoulos' book, God's Anatomy, I put the citations, the book references that I'm referencing underneath the video. So even if I don't put them online, the person or the scholar watching my video can go to those page numbers and can go to those passages and read what I'm referencing to see where I disagree with them. I also did this. Ferris says that's good advice, putting links to sources in the description. I think you actually say that in your videos, don't you? That's like you're literally just verbatim quoting yourself now. But that's what I do. So when I'm talking with scholars, even when they're friends of mine, and online friends to be clear, but even when they're friends of mine, I try to put the citations down there so they can find them. Even if I have to do it like 2 or 3 days later, I find that makes things much more easier when you're communicating with each other, and it keeps things more friendly. Things don't have to get antagonistic. Don't get me wrong. There's time for that. Like if I was arguing with Sam Shamoon, I'd be incredibly antagonistic and sarcastic. I'm not saying there's never time for that. But I think Ferris is the wrong target for this particular complaint. Not that he can't grift. Maybe he does. Not that he can't be wrong. Maybe he is. But of the people who are offensively doing grifting, I just don't see Ferris as that bad guy. He might be. Like I could be fooled. I could be suckered. I get suckered all the time. I could be suckered. But I don't see it that way. I see him doing a really good job of adding humor and sarcasm to the apologetical world. Look, he's not my favorite channel in the world, but he's nowhere near my least. He's like in maybe my top 100. I love his stuff. I use his stuff when I need to know something that I don't know. So yeah, I think what he's doing is good. I don't think his humor is always the correct humor, but I don't think my humor is always the correct humor. That's why I'm not an apologist. I do anti-apologetics work here. When Joe Heschmeyer, who I love, said something stupid about hell, I went to the source that he referenced and I read the source on here to show that what he said was wrong. And then I went to the source that source was referencing to show you the original context. And then I put a bunch of rabbis explaining how to understand what was written in the Talmud and what was written in the story, and what they were saying was nowhere near what Joe Heschmeyer was saying. So I think that's the better way. I just do. Yeah. Okay. So let's go find two people. One, let's go find the other channel that I want to promote because she's really great and she does not get enough attention. And then let me, from there, do my commentary on that other video, and then I'm going to hop out. I'm gonna be out of here in about 10 minutes, guys. Assuming I can find the video. Christ Defender. There we go. So if you guys have not watched Christ Defender, please go support her. She's an up-and-coming apologist. She does an amazing job, and it's just straight, simple, and ready defense of the faith stuff. None of the grifting stuff, none of the cross-promotion BS, let's make money stuff. So let me get to that. I don't know why it's telling me to stop sharing. I don't want it to stop sharing. Okay, let's go here. Okay, How to Be Christian just said, I wouldn't classify my channel as an apologetics channel. It's just reading comprehension. I read the Bible and I compare that to what Protestants say and tell stupid jokes. And again, I wouldn't call myself an apologetics channel. I do critiques of books and debates. And that also means, if I want to be fair, I have to critique my own side, which means I critique Catholics. And I'm anti-apologetics because I don't like the salesmanship that has taken over most of the Catholic and Christian world. There are other people who I've engaged even on their channels. So yeah, you guys know it. I don't like that stuff. So that's why I don't do it. I agree. How to Be Christian. Hopefully we all love everyone. And he's saying that to Loves. I love all three of you. All right. Okay, let's get to Christ Defender because I want to talk about her real quick. And then I want to critique that other person who's doing Protestant apologetics in the name of Catholicism. And then I want to hop out because I got a lot of stuff to do. Christ Defender. And for those watching my channel, I just want to be one more shout out. Please subscribe to Ordinary Catholic. Like I like her stuff. And yeah. Okay, so this is Christ Defender. I think she's like the best up-and-comer apologist out there right now. For my atheist friends, you guys know who you are. All you big names, all you guys in what is the top hats and mask? If you know what I'm talking about, start attacking some of her stuff. It would be great if it would be great for atheists to hear how she's doing things. She's doing a really good job. B.S. Lewis, you guys, I know Bread of Life is amazing, but hey, Christ Defender is doing a really good job, and I think her voice needs to be also highlighted. I'm going to just a little sample,
from which the forgiveness of our sins pours forth inexhaustibly. That's Catholic. The only thing they question is whether or not we're saved by faith alone or by faith and works. And we would say neither one is right because your idea about sin is wrong. The point is that any Protestant who believes that about sin and salvation is thinking like a Catholic. So congratulations.
Oh, they're going to hate that.
But it's the truth. That is not a doctrine of the early church.
Firstly, it's quite obviously not the only thing Protestants question or questioned at the Reformation. Nevertheless, this framing of the Protestant Catholic discussion on justification is a misleading oversimplification that Protestants believe in faith alone and Catholics believe in faith and works. Protestants use the term justification to refer to an event at the beginning of the Christian life where God forgives us and declares us righteous. Is that incorrect? No, it's true. It's correct. In Catholic theology, while this is true, there's more to justification. And God doesn't merely declare us righteous, he makes us righteous in justification. The Council of Trent thus defined justification as not only a remission of sins, but also the sanctification and renewal of the inner man. God wants us to grow in righteousness over the course of our Christian life. And if we cooperate with his grace, we will. Catholic theology refers to this growth in righteousness using the term justification. Now, this isn't a video on justification, though it isn't entirely irrelevant to the atonement. I'll simply remind everyone of one thing. If you go through Trent's decree on justification, or at least go through the section on justification in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, it really won't take you that long, you won't find the phrase faith and works in the section on justification. Hence, it's a misleading.
Going back to the topic earlier, Brian Holsworth, boo for me. And although I forgive him, we're both going to be in heaven one day. But boo for me on his apologetics. And where's the other one? I just saw her. Religious hippie. I think that's another one that does a little bit of, a tiny bit of the grifting. But yeah. It's because I'm looking for that other video. I'm looking for I can't find it. I hope she didn't take it down. Where is it? Oh, the one I wanted to do, the video I wanted to do might be gone because it's not in my saved anymore. It's not in my likes. And when I typed it up, it's not popping up. It was like 10 things I learned as a new Catholic or something like that. Captive Death says, bread of life chased off all us atheists a year ago, but lately she seems to have missed us and is having atheists on her channel again. Well, she still comes by B.S. Lewis's channel, and if Gar was still doing his stuff, I'm sure she would pop in every day. Me and her were always the two Christians on the dais on when Gar would do things. So I still like Bread of Life. I think she's a heretic, but I think her stuff is fun. Wow. I think this person took out their video. All right. Well, I need to go bike ride. So, I'm leaving in 3 minutes. If anybody wants to hop in and say something, hint, right now would be the time, because in 3 minutes I'm getting on my bike and I'm going to be gone for at least an hour. I would like to thank Ordinary Catholic for coming by my channel today. I'm very honored that you were here. I'd like to thank How to Be Christian. I'd like to thank Captive Desk. I'd like to thank Lily. I'd like to thank, where are we at? Loves. And I would like to thank Risto. Risto, you were the all-star of this one. You were awesome. Thank you. You made this stream palatable and watchable. I appreciate you. We have one final question before I hop out is, what do you think about Ascension Presents and Father Mike Schmitz? I love Father Mike Schmitz. I know that my friend Cade does not appreciate Father Mike Schmitz's approach. I know that Cade complains that it's I'm gonna call it sugar-coated Catholicism, where it's covering up all the dark stuff, all the anti-LGBTQ stuff in a loving, sugary pill that's easy to swallow. But I think Father Mike Schmidt is a great example of how to do proper apologetics, and he's a priest. He's of the cloth. He's clergy, so I think he's doing the right thing. I think more Catholic priests and Catholic bishops should be doing apologetics, possibly even deacons, and I think less lay people should be speaking for the church. That doesn't mean that we can't do commentary. That doesn't mean that we can't live out our life and our faith online. We should. We should live our faith every day, and we should be an example of people, an example of forgiveness, an example of mercy, an example of compassion, an example of loving the neighbor, an example of loving your enemy, an example of loving God above all. We should be living out that example every day, and we should be merciful not only to our enemies, not only to our neighbor, but to ourselves as well. So I'm going to give my old school outro, the one I haven't given in over a year. And for those of you watching later, please like, please subscribe, please comment down below. Keep the conversation going. Yes, I don't stream as much as I used to, but I try to stream at least once a month nowadays. And I try to put up at least one video a week. Although right now I am reading the Book of Mormon, and that is taking a much longer time. I am halfway through. So give me 2 more weeks, and then a week more after that. 2 more weeks to finish the book, and then about a week more after that to write up a review. Oh, thank you, Lily. I appreciate that. Lily says, thank you for your answer and for the work you do here. Thank you. Okay, so today, if you want to make a change, make the change today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Change your ways right now. And remember that God loves you. So love everyone. And God forgives you. So forgive everyone. Love your enemy. Love your neighbor. Love your brother, your family. Love yourself and love God above all. And to forgive everyone. Forgive your enemy. Forgive your neighbor. Forgive your brother, your family. And forgive yourself. And if you want to be a better person, change today. You don't want to be overweight? Put down the donut. You don't want to be diabetic? Go for a walk. Yes, take your medication. Yes, go to therapy. Do all the good things you got to do. But right now, right this moment, make the change. Don't wait until tomorrow. You need more money? Go get a better job. Apply today. That doesn't mean quit your job. Go apply for a better job. You want to learn more? Go back to college. Whatever it is that you need to do, make the change today and follow him. All right. Good night. And actually, good afternoon. I'm going to go ride my bike. Peace.